stole somebody's bike. But either way, this guy is super sketchy, and his attitude really does suck, so I don't blame you for getting angry at this guy in the slightest. My friend sent me a screenshot of an active and verified Tinder profile of my boyfriend, and now I seriously don't know what to do. So a friend of mine sent some screenshots of a Tinder profile that had an active badge, meaning the profile was online in the past 2 hours, and it was verified as well. The profile had a bunch of photos of my boyfriend, and when I asked him about that, he swore it's a fake profile, saying it's not the first time to find a fake profile with his pictures on it. And he also said he deleted his Tinder account a long time ago. I found out that the profile was last online 3 kilometers away from his house, which is quite far even for an inaccurate GPS. Anyways, I found all of this weird because verified profiles require selfies with specific gestures. The profile also had a lot of his real hobbies and personality traits, as well as his college courses, his profession, and a lot of other intimate details. If the profile is really a fake one, it was created by someone who definitely knows him. Now, things got a little worse. I asked him to download Tinder and log in with his account. To me, he would download it and show that he doesn't have an account, or if he did, it was inactive, and that the other one was indeed fake. However, he denied me this, saying that relationships are based on trust, and that I had to trust him, especially because it's not the first time that I suspected him, as well as getting proven wrong, and he was getting tired of having to prove things to me. Now I don't know what to do. I love him and I want to trust him, but the profiles are very convincing. There are so many photos, a perfect description of him and his hobbies, the account is verified, etc. He could have just showed me the account and shut me up entirely, but instead he came at me with this talk about trust. The only thing he did was showing me that all the photos that the profile had were all available on his Instagram at some point, meaning that someone could have used them at some point. Another behavior that I found weird was that he wasn't even bothered about the verified fake profile using his photos. I mean, he's not even gonna get upset about this. I offered him to help find the fake profile, and he didn't show any interest at all. What would you do in this situation? Should I ignore this and just blindly trust him? Or is something more happening? What should I do? The original poster actually has an update to this story. They further clarified that the profile existed for at least 6 months, which is a very hard achievement for a fake profile. And they say that they know this because a friend already chatted with that profile in January. And also, apparently right after they left their boyfriend's house, the profile suddenly got deleted. And the original poster was amazed by this. I mean, what a coincidence after all. A 6-month-old fake profile got deleted the exact same day they confronted their boyfriend about it. The original poster then goes on to say the following: "Well, I broke up with him, as this was the only option, no matter how I tried to find a way to defend and forgive him. It hurts so much, because I helped him with so many things. We spent all this time together, and if he was trustworthy, this relationship would have gone so far. If he was the person I thought he was, I would have married him. Now I am just alone. I have always been a lonely person with few friends, and he was by far my best friend." Now, one of the reasons his trust talk may not be entirely BS is because I already suspected him 2 or 3 times in the previous months, and in one of them, I demanded to read his Instagram DMs, but he refused after I started reading some of the messages. In another one, I shamefully created a fake profile just to test him, so he has been asking for trust for quite a while. On the one hand, it's clear to me that my past suspicions and my paranoia may not have been so crazy and paranoid like I've been accused of. Yes, I have trust issues, and I'm going to see a therapist, but at the same time, I blindly loved him, and even so, I was never able to fully trust him, no matter how hard I tried. I never had even 20% of this difficulty on trusting any of my ex-boyfriends. What makes me so mad is that he didn't admit that the profile was his. He truly thinks that I'm 100% a fool. At this point, I don't know if he was using me for some kind of financial advantage, or if he just wanted to be with me to show off to his friends. All the while, he's going around behind my back with other people. I will honestly never know. The only possibility of it being fake is if the fake is owned by one of his friends, and his friend deleted the profile right after my friend messaged the profile. This is all so frustrating, and I seriously don't know what to do. I mean, honestly, it kinda seems like this was his profile. That is such a crazy coincidence, to be completely honest. You confront your boyfriend on that day, and then once you leave, the profile gets deleted. That's either crazy circumstances, or he really was hiding this from you and he didn't want you to know about it. It's weird to me, like, if this guy really cared about you, he could have easily just logged into Tinder and shown you and been like, look, it's not me. I don't have this profile, I would never do that to you, or something along those lines. That doesn't seem like an unreasonable thing to at least show, hey, I'm being faithful here. I haven't done anything nefarious and I wouldn't do that. But he straight up refused to do that. I know if I was the original poster's boyfriend in this situation, I would make the simple step of just logging into Tinder just to show my partner that no, it's not me. But his unwillingness to do that is really suspicious to me. So truly, I'm sorry that you had to deal with this. This doesn't sound like a fun situation to be stuck in, and it doesn't help that your now ex-boyfriend was incredibly resistant to trying to find some kind of solution to this. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, use the playlist at the top of the description. And if you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out in the description below and subscribe.
A lot of extra grief by not letting her get drunk. I made my entitled nephew cry at his birthday party after he was rude about the gifts he received. I'm a 26-year-old female. My sister, 29, has a son, Eric, and he's 8 years old. I don't visit a lot, we live far away, but I see them and most of my family at birthdays and holidays. When I visit, I usually buy Eric a toy or some candy, as he's my only nephew. To be honest, I like to spoil him. And maybe I'm a little bit to blame for what happened too. It was Eric's birthday this week. I visited them and brought him a nice car toy. The car was quite big and had lights and stuff. When I got to the party, I wished him a happy birthday and handed him the gift. He opened it and loved it. He said, "So far, this is the best one," which at the time, I thought he was just excited. But with what happened later, I kinda get the idea it was more maliciously intended. So an hour or so after the party started, when everyone had already arrived, Eric made an announcement to the table in which the adults were sitting. He said that I've won and that I was now the person who he loved the most because my gift was the one he liked the most. I thought it was sweet that he liked it. Then he told my mom that her gift sucked. She brought him a board game, so he didn't love her anymore. He also told one of his friends that next year he won't be invited because his gift was bad too. He'd gifted him a set of dinosaur figures. I think this whole thing of ranking the gifts people got him was pretty crappy. I expected my sister or her husband to say something, but they didn't. They just laughed. So I told Eric that he's not supposed to say that about his gifts. People get them what they can, and he should be grateful with that. He said that he doesn't understand why he has to love people who don't buy him nice gifts. I genuinely can't believe my sister is teaching this bull to her son. His dad told him, yeah, they should all give you the best. So I then again told him that a person's worth is not about how expensive or big the gift they got him was, and that if he thought that way, then I will not be continuing to buy him gifts. Eric started to cry. My sister told me off because I made him cry, but most of my family and some of her in-laws were on my side and told them it was bad to teach their kids such things. Our mom was quite affected, and I wanted to leave too, so we left after that. My sister texted me later to call me a jerk for leaving before the candles were blown, and for telling her child he won't get any more gifts from me. She said that I shouldn't make empty threats to a child. I said that it's not empty, and it's not a threat. It's a promise, until they teach their kids some manners. Am I wrong for discussing this when my nephew was present? Am I being unreasonable to him since he's young? And would I be wrong in the future if I keep my promise and don't buy him a gift the next time we see each other? At the end of the day, I don't want to be a jerk to the kid. No, I don't think you did anything wrong here. Someone had to say it. It should have been mom and dad, but heck, if they're not stepping up to the plate, maybe he'll listen to you since you're his new favorite. Also, you hold the power of the good presents. You have sway over him that no one else does. Seriously though, I don't understand how the parents don't correct this entitled behavior. No one likes a snobby little brat. I know all parents think their kids are the greatest, but you still need to raise them to be a decent human being. You want them to have the best? Then they can't have people hating them all the time because they're entitled snobs. That's on you, mom and dad. You need to teach those lessons. My boyfriend absolutely flipped out because I ate all the toppings off of his pizza. Earlier tonight, I ordered a Hawaiian pizza with my boyfriend. We've only been dating a month, so it's the first time I ate pizza with him. We only finished about half and then we went to watch TV. I was still hungry, so I ate all the toppings off the pizza. When he saw, he absolutely flipped out. He said that he was saving it for lunch tomorrow, and that he had never met anyone who would do something like this. and was just generally really upset. I thought he was joking and laughed it off, but it's been a couple of hours and he's still upset. He's talking about how he was looking forward to having the leftover pizza for lunch, and now I've ruined his lunch. I offered to buy him another pizza, but he kept saying that it wasn't about that, and I just ruined his day. Is he overreacting, or am I the jerk? Well, I hope you learned your lesson. Never come between a man and his pizza. Seriously though, you're some kind of monster. Why would you just eat the toppings off the pizza if you're still hungry? Just eat a slice of pizza. You've literally ruined the rest of the food just so you can have a few snack-sized bites? I just don't understand the logic here. I mean, at least you offered to buy him another pizza. Maybe he is overreacting here. I mean, I would probably just laugh this off. But I agree that most normal people wouldn't have done what you did. So gotta side with him on this one. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories, linked at the top of the description. And if you like Am I the Jerk, give Am I the Genius a shot, linked in the description as well. Either way, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
My entitled sister-in-law steals money from me and my family, as well as creates credit cards in my name that she spends without my knowledge. But eventually the law catches up to her, forcing her to do some jail time, as well as paying me back thousands of dollars in restitution. Here's what happened. So I have 3 nieces and a nephew I was quite close to. They frequently spent weekends and every special occasion with us in our home. As of writing this right now, I have not seen them for nearly a year. My sister-in-law and I were both employed as caregivers to elderly homebound individuals. Because of our job experience, we were taking turns assisting our grandfather-in-law with dementia. In March, he received a credit card statement with over $21,000 in transactions. When confronted with the bill, my sister-in-law admitted that she had taken and used the credit card. On my next visit to assist him, I drove him to the sheriff's office to file criminal charges despite my sister-in-law's promises to pay off the debt with the bank. Those charges are still pending. My sister-in-law was fired and blacklisted from working with elderly people and has cried that this should be punishment enough. Once charges were filed, the children were no longer allowed to spend any time with me, my husband, or our sons. She's run through several jobs since then and was recently fired from another job for stealing. Just before Halloween, I switched jobs and I noticed that my card was missing. I then received a new credit card in the mail that I had not applied for. My sister-in-law currently resides at my previous address, as we gave her the house where she currently lives. I often receive credit card offers in the mail, and they've been sent to that address on numerous occasions. I was immediately suspicious, but with nothing to go on, I just let it go. On November 21st, though, I received a credit alert that I had opened a PayPal credit account and paid another PayPal user $250. So I contacted the creditor as well as local law enforcement. My sister-in-law is adamant she's had nothing to do with it. I'm still waiting on paperwork from the bank to verify her contact information on the application. She has since dug in her heels and announced to the world that the children are not allowed to spend any time with us for Christmas unless all charges against her are dropped. This will be the very first Christmas my youngest son hasn't spent with his cousins. And you know what? He's heartbroken. But I'm just angry. I don't understand how she musters the audacity. Now, I froze my card after I received the first credit card. I'm not 100% sure how the transaction still went through, but my thought is she had all the necessary information and could have easily unfrozen it herself. It's taken so long to nail down these charges because attorneys are nitpicking over charges she spent versus which ones were actually legitimate. Aside from assortment of bills, here's just some of the purchases that she made. She spent $800 on tickets to a Backstreet Boys concert. She also Venmoed $700 to her BFF while also spending $1,600 on a photo shoot, $600 at Victoria's Secret, $450 in deliveries from her favorite local Mexican restaurant, $400 more on an ATV excursion in Mexico on a cruise with her husband, and then $650 from a website that sells designer scrubs. Nothing was purchased for her kids at all. Well, as an update, at the court hearing this past week, my sister-in-law was sentenced to 20 days in jail, and as a result, she must now pay $8,000 in restitution. destitution. What an awful situation. First off, I want to say that it really sounds like your sister-in-law is a horrible person. Not only is she stealing from you and obviously stealing from everybody else around her, but she also tried to use her kids as like bartering chips. She thought that her saying to the world, oh, my kids are never coming for Christmas. We're never showing up ever again and you can't see them. All while also demanding that you drop all charges against her shows exactly the kind of person she is. She not only knew that she was in the wrong, but she was also trying to punish everybody else around her for trying to make sure she was held accountable for her actions. Also, that's crazy to me that someone can open up a credit card under your name with just the bare bones amount of information at someone's fingertips. That goes to show you that you really need to be careful in the world. There's always someone out there that's trying to make sure your financial future is ruined. And that's exactly what this sister-in-law was doing. And at that point, if I was in this situation, the fact that she's trying to be like, oh, you can't be around my kids anymore unless you drop the fact that I'm a criminal, I would be like, okay, I just won't see your kids ever again. Like, seriously, she thinks that's gonna solve any of these problems? What is gonna solve these problems is her doing jail time as well as paying me back all the money that she stole. So thankfully, that's exactly what happened. This sister-in-law got exactly what she deserved because based on her history, she absolutely had it coming. If you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out, link down below in the description. My husband is clearly unhappy with their current job, but after I tried to push him to find something else so that he would get paid more, he is now being very resistant and refusing to take any steps forward to further his career. And at this point, I seriously don't know what to do. My husband is 30 years old and has a master's degree in engineering and currently is working as a manager at a very large company. He was promoted to manager in November, but they gave him the lower tier manager position because he was 4 months short of the work requirement for the second tier. When he was promoted, the director told him that it would be a quick promotion to the second tier, so we were expecting him to be promoted in April. Well, April passed. He has brought up his promotion several times to the director. His company is known for holding people below their deserved tier and sometimes doing this for years, and instead spending a ton of money on new hires. He has told me probably 100 times about how much it upsets him and how he is never going to allow that to happen to himself. It's also pretty well known in this industry that you have to move around just to get paid. I told him if August hits without a promotion, he's going to have to start looking for a new job. He's a young engineer with a master's degree and 10 years of experience, and he is never going to be more valuable as a new hire than he is right now. Frankly, his sector of engineering underpays for engineers. The problem is, the job he has right now is great. The work environment is chill, he has a lot of mentors on his team that are very seasoned engineers, and he likes what his team does and wants it to succeed, but he doesn't want to start over. He straight up asked me, well, how much does money matter? And I rebutted by saying, well, why don't you answer that question? At which point he mumbled and grumbled and laughed a little bit because money has always mattered more to him than me and he knows it. I feel like I'm just trying to prevent him from doing something he regrets and being complacent, but maybe I'm wrong. What should I do? Honestly, in this situation, it is a little bit tricky. I think the way you went about it is a little bit too rough in my opinion. Like, it really sounds like the original poster is trying to dictate this guy's career, and I don't think that's appropriate in the slightest. He really does sound happy there besides the pay itself, which also makes me think that maybe this guy is complaining just a little bit too much. Like, I can totally see that the original poster might feel backed into a wall. Like, they see their partner and they're just like, wow, they really don't like their job. Okay, it's time for a change or something needs to happen. So you try to push them and say, okay, we need to move forward and get you something better overall. But clearly your partner just doesn't see it that way. He is very happy about the office culture and the fact that there's a lot of really chill people working there, which honestly, that is a huge benefit of a workplace. Working with people who are really cool and just really relaxed overall makes a huge difference in the work environment. So I don't blame him for saying, you know what, let's just stick where we're at. But if he really does feel that way, then maybe he should stop complaining all the time to the original poster, because it really is leading her to believe that, wow, my husband's just completely miserable. Let's try to solve this problem together. So I think